Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. All right, so I only have a few questions for Q&A Tuesday, but that's totally okay because it's going to take a minute for me to explain these. These were very good questions, okay? Also, my voice is cracking today because I am between, I guess, a cold and sinus. So, if I end this abruptly, that's why. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So one of the questions that I got was about how long do you have to handhold a brand new coder or a coder that is new to that clinic as a veteran medical coder? How long do you have to do that, or how long is that expected? Okay, so mentoring or answering questions and things like that is really a personal issue. With new coders or new to that clinic coders, and yes, while we all have our credentials and everybody is expected to be at the same level because we're all, we all have the same credentials, it's not the same. So what I mean by when I say that is it's going to depend on where the person was trained and the caliber of their knowledge. How much are they investing themselves into learning? How much are they willing to take initiative to learn things on their own? That has a lot to do with it. On the same hand, right? I'm talking to new coders and coding students that are going to be coders and newly credentialed coders that are going into new clinics. I'm talking to you guys now. When you are going to ask a veteran medical coder a question, please do the veteran medical coder a favor. Respect their time. And when I say respect their time, I mean to take notes. Do not ask the same question over again. Now, there may be times when you have to ask the same question again, a couple times to take a couple runs at it so that you can understand, like it'll click. Sometimes it takes a minute to click. But don't ask the same question when they've told you. And when you are asking questions, make sure you're taking notes, because this tells that veteran medical coder that you are serious and that you want to be able to learn, okay? Because and it's happened before, it's happened to me before, where it's a new coder and they sort of take advantage. They say, well, how would you code this? Because they don't know how to code it. And yes, while we all, again, have the same, we're all credentialed, right? The teaching is different. Everybody's journey is different. So it's all going to depend. What I genuinely do when I am with the new coder or new to that clinic coder, I make it very clear that there's going to be a limit to how much I assist them. If I get a whiff that they are not taking me seriously, that's when I put my foot down. And I don't do it to be mean. I do it because I need to know that you are at least trying. Because there will be people that will not try. And they will take advantage and they will ask questions and, not make it easy. So if you are a veteran medical coder that is assisting somebody new, of course, it is entirely up to you. Not everybody is for it. There are some people that don't have patience to teach others, and then there's people that are okay with teaching others. And either way is fine. But have the mindset of course, being willing to help would be a great thing. But at the same time, as long as that new person is also putting in as much effort as you are. And if they're not, then I can understand, not having to, not having that willingness to help them. But if you're a veteran medical coder, please don't immediately close the door on helping somebody new that's asking you a question because nobody helped you. I've heard that as a veteran medical coder. Well, I'm not helping them because nobody trained me. Okay, that's not the attitude to have. Okay, I will say that. That's not the attitude to have. Because to me, sometimes we all need a hand, okay? And I will even ask questions, but there's only one person that I will ask questions to, and that is my very close friend. I've worked with her for many years, and she is incredibly humble. I am extremely blessed to know her because she knows so much, and she will say no she doesn't. But I tell her all the time, yes she does, because she knows these things and she can recall facts and stuff like that really like super quick. And she's really taught me like how to look for things and how to do research and what to use as far as like good resources. New coders should always be made aware of their resources. Sometimes they don't know, okay? And so sometimes you may have to tell them. But I agree, you shouldn't have to handhold them for very long. They should be able to take the initiative and learn to fly the nest, okay? They should be able to do that. But at the same time, it's all going to depend on like personality wise and where did they get their education and things like that. Because sometimes people are getting credentials that are um it's they're not getting trained as well as they should be before they take this exam. And I've heard people complain that they were only taught to pass the exam, but not really the fundamentals of coding. So they get very frustrated when they get on the outside and they feel lost. This is the whole goal of my channel as well, is to be that sort of place where people can go that are like new or even veterans, that they have questions and they can ask. And these are things that either I think of or people write in about and ask and things like that. And then this is the conversation that I like to have with people. So there's that. I mean, you should help people that want to help themselves. Okay, so basically that's it. And make it clear, because now what I do, because a lot of people will come to me for advice and they will say, can you help me with this? And I will explain to them, whatever the scenario is. But I also make sure that I let them know that there is a limit, and that limit comes when I think that they can get it on their own, or when I think that they're taking advantage. Then of course I also set that limit a lot quicker, because I don't like to get taken advantage of. I have other things to do, working with my providers and doing research and doing classes and things like that. I have those things to do, and not to be taken advantage of by somebody. Okay. So if you are a new medical coder, or if you are going to be in a clinic pretty soon, just make sure that you are showing respect to the person that you're asking. Make sure that you're taking notes. If you feel lost, it's okay. Talk to the person, but don't let them feel like you're taking advantage of them. Okay, so that's my whole thing. Um, but set clear boundaries. If you are a veteran medical coder, make sure that you set boundaries. That's pretty much all I can say, because every facility is different. Um, and every person, every situation is different as well. So it's going to be a judgment call. But I think sometimes when you have these clear limits where you could say, yes, we are all credentialed, but everybody's knowledge base is different. I say this all the time to my providers. The caliber of coder is going to be different. It's just like the caliber of doctor is always different. It's different from doctor to doctor. There are some doctors that have studied, or they have experience. They have more experience than other doctors. There's a myriad of factors that go into these things. So this is something to just keep in mind, okay? But if they are trying, of course, you could tell if a coder is trying or not. So you can feel like you can give them a hand. But at the same time, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, then you could put a clear limit on the time that you're going to be able to spend with them. Okay? And it's not to be harsh, it's not to be mean. It is because it is an efficiency thing after a while. And I believe that all coders should try to learn as much as they can. As far as, even, this is why I always encourage all the time, reading other materials, reading materials that are not related to your clinic, because you never know what down the line will be related to your clinic, okay? Just something to think about. And the other question was about feeling overwhelmed as a new student, okay? As a new student to medical coding, what are some things to do to not feel so overwhelmed? What are some tricks and things like that? Tricks and tips. All right. When you are starting out in medical coding school and you have all of these terms and you have all of these things you have to learn, start with one thing at a time. You have to have a good foundation for anything, whether it's a good relationship or whether it is a home or your knowledge base. You have to have a good, solid foundation, okay? And with medical coding, that is your medical terminology, anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, pharmacology. All of these things are very important in setting the foundation of your knowledge base. Start there, okay? If you're gonna start next year with medical coding school, congratulations. Start using flashcards to start learning the anatomy, start learning the body, the bones, the tissues, the muscles. Learn everything, okay, about the body. Learn as much as you can, okay? You don't have to memorize it all right away. All you need to do is expose your brain to whatever it is, whether it's the flashcards or a book. Because your brain, whether you are reading or not, your brain is taking in a lot of this information. And one side note before I continue, because I keep remembering it, I don't want to forget. Medical coding and computer coding are two different things. They are not even related. There's no relation at all, okay? They are completely separate. One requires a lot of reading comprehension, and computer coding is like math, okay? In medical coding, there is no math. There is no math, all right? So, and even though some people may make the argument of, well, there's units and things like that, that's stuff that has to be filled out by the provider, okay? Yes, while you have to maybe look up the code in the book, there's no math there. It's not like computer coding, like where they're doing programs and software and websites and things like that. That involves math and numbers. We, as medical coders, it involves reading comprehension and knowledge of the body and the disease process. So that is something to keep in mind. It is completely separate. And don't let anybody confuse you about the two. Okay, medical coding is not the same as computer coding. Okay, like actually computer, like you're making a website. That kind of coding is what I'm talking about. Okay, but back to what I was saying. Okay, learn your medical terminology. Learn your suffixes and your prefixes. That would really help you. So that way you know what these words mean. You can use context clues to put the words together. That's really important. But don't try to learn everything overnight. And if you are getting overwhelmed because you feel like you're falling behind, it's okay. We all felt like that. I mean, at least I know I did when I started out, But using flashcards really helped. And yes, I said it again, flashcards. Y'all are going to hate me for those flashcards. I'm totally going to write I should be a flashcard for Halloween. I totally should. But I'm just going to be a cheerleader. I have this little cheerleader costume. It's like a jersey and leggings and pom-poms. So not a lot of thought into it, but that would totally be a good idea, though. Totally have like a flashcard. With all the codes, right? That would be even more funny. I'll be like, okay, this is chest pain, which you occasionally give me. This is talking to the providers, of course. Eye twitching, which is also what they give me. Anyway, just an idea. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. But anyway, getting back on topic. Don't get overwhelmed, okay? Whatever you do, just don't get overwhelmed, okay? We were all there. Take your time. Learn things one thing at a time, okay? Medical terminology and anatomy, pathophysiology, and pharmacology, that's your good foundational knowledge right there. I am going to do my back to the basics. I know I've been promising you guys back to the basics about the CPT book. I'm going to get to that because I've been getting more questions lately. So I am going to get to it just one thing at a time. This week has been very hectic between last week and this week, and there's just a lot going on right now. But never fear. We'll get there, okay? And if you are a new medical coding student, please take the time to watch some of my other videos. And even if these videos don't make sense to you now, eventually they will make sense to you. Q&A Tuesdays are all the questions. Quiz Fridays and Answer Monday has to do with, just some random scenarios that I come up with. Okay, so I think they're a lot of fun. I make them up myself. And sometimes I use inspiration from what people have said that are of interest to them. I recently did 4 weeks of urology, mostly urology on Quiz Fridays. So this week it's going to be pulmonary, and I'm very excited about that one because it's going to be 4 weeks of pulmonary. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this up because my voice is starting to crack, and I could just feel it coming on. So anyway, but yes, that was mostly it. If I think of anything else, I may come back later on tonight. If I think of anything else. But I think that's about it. Like I said, if I think of anything else. I hope you all had a great day. And I have a couple things in mind for tomorrow's episode. So we'll see. But because I have to write these things out in order for it to make sense, because otherwise sometimes I'm like all over the place with these things. All right. I will go ahead and close it up. But if you have any other questions, let me know, and I will tack them on to next week's Q&A Tuesday, or maybe I might do a whole episode about your questions. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up. So if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. All right. I'll see y'all the next time. Bye.